Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Talk Grand Strategy, where today I would like to introduce a new alternate history mod for Europa Universalis 4 called Divergences of Light that I have created. And in this video I'm just quickly going to go over the idea behind this mod, the inspiration, quickly go over the scenario of the mod and also the scope, like how in-depth this mod is. So let's just click a random country and hop right in. Alright, so idea behind this mod. Many of you probably know a mod for Victoria 2 called Divergences of Darkness. That's obviously where I kind of stole the name from. And the idea of this mod is pretty much the same one. So basically, what if a couple hundred years before the start date of this game, things just started to happen differently, or things started to go a lot differently. But still nothing crazy, so no, vampires and aliens, still like all historical, but obviously alternate history. So yeah, that's the inspiration. I also took a little bit of inspiration for sure from the Antebellum mod for EU4, and yeah, that led me to creating this mod. So let's go over the scenario of this mod. Let's start here in Iberia. As you can see, Iberia is divided between a strong kingdom of Asturias in the north. That's the only Christian kingdom in all of Iberia. And in the south, there is Andalusia, as well as several smaller Muslim countries. The idea here is that the Reconquista didn't happen so far, but might happen soon. So Asturias is one of the... Oh, sorry, let me quickly go into observer mode. Boom, boom. Yeah, Asturias is one of the strongest nations in Iberia and has lots of claims over these other countries. And while all of these Muslim dynasties are ruled by the same Nasrid dynasty, they are in fact not allied, and they in fact have cores on one another. So that will mean that there's probably going to be a lot of war between the southern Iberian Muslim states, which could allow Asturias to become a strong country and unify Iberia. Moving on to France, as you can see, there is no France in this mod. Instead, we have a couple of countries here, including Occitania in the south and Normandy in the north, which are the two strongest countries. And all of them can, in fact, if they conquer Paris, form the French nation, which in this mod is called West Francia, or the West Frankish Kingdom. So that's France. Then moving on to Britain, even though there is a somewhat British colored country here, there is in fact no Britain and no England. Instead, we have the North Sea Empire, one of the strongest countries in this mod, that is ruling a lot of the British Isles and is, as you could imagine, a Norse country and also Danish or Scandinavian country. Then in the south, we have the Normans, and the only native kingdom left is the Kingdom of Mercia, which can, of course, reform England or Britain, should they be successful in reconquering all these lands. But yeah, also the North Sea Empire and Normandy both claim more land in the British Isles. Then moving on to Scandinavia. Here we have an interesting starting scenario where the new king of Sweden, Christopher III, has just made Sweden a Christian country, or a Catholic country to be more specific. But there is a lot of unrest in the southern parts of Sweden with the nation of Swithiod, which I believe is just Sweden in Swedish, having risen up. This is basically just an alternate Swedish kingdom of all the nobles that are unhappy with the new religion and want to keep the old Norse religion. Alright, moving into the Holy Roman Empire, the most interesting and strongest nation in the empire is probably Middle Francia. So, as you know, France is basically what came out of West Francia. The Holy Roman Empire is what came out of East Francia, but historically there was also a Middle Francia that fell apart pretty quickly. But in this mod, Middle Francia has survived, and it has an ambitious new ruler who is a very decent ruler too. And this new ruler wants to reconquer all the lost lands and reunite the Middle Frankish Kingdom. Then also in the Holy Roman Empire, we have Czechoslovakia, which is a country that formed after Jan Hus successfully took over Bohemia and then united Bohemia with some states to the north. And so Czechoslovakia is, as you could imagine, a Hussite country, and it is also led by the Hus dynasty. So right now by Ladislaus Hus. And Other than that, we have some new countries here in the south, some bigger countries. One more interesting country here is certainly Freiland, which means free land in German, which is just a united country basically of peasants that broke independent from their overlords and from merchants and from everyone else exploiting them. And some of these merchants we see right here in the Hanseatic League that is controlling a lot of little islands and a lot of coastal cities here in the Baltic and North Sea area. Moving on further south into Italy, we have two really interesting countries here in Italy. One is Nova Roma, which is basically a recreation of Rome by a crazy Medici prince who has decided that he is the rightful heir to the Roman Empire and that he should conquer all of Italy. And then also to the south, we have the Knights of Sicily, which is a holy order that engages in crusades against the heathens of northern Africa here. So we can see here's a very strong country called the Maghreb, which is, of course, a Muslim country. And their biggest rival is probably the Knights of Sicily. So yeah, lots of crusading going on in this mod. Moving on further east, we have the Kingdom of Zaporoslavia, which is a union of Poland and Hungary that has formed here in Eastern Europe, has of course some ambitious plans for expansion too. Then to their south, we have the Latin Empire, which is, if you don't know, basically a empire that was formed after the Crusaders sacked Constantinople. And historically it didn't last very long, but again in this mod, the Latin Empire survived, so it's a Christian country. And it also has major claims to basically restore the old Byzantine Empire, but as a Catholic country this time. Then moving on up to the northeast here, we have four big interesting countries, I would say, in the Russia general area. First of them, the Kievan Rus, a very ancient country that is basically a mix of Russia and Ukraine. Also with some ambitions of conquest and with the option to later on form Ruthenia. Then we have the Golden Horde. You know the Golden Horde. I don't think I need to explain it. Then we have Östlandet, which is a Norse holy order. So it's basically Viking settlers that have settled around the Novgorod area. And they are now trying to convert this whole area to the Norse religion, which is, of course, not very popular with the natives. So we can see both Novgorod and Moscow have fallen to Östlandet. And so the refugees from Moscow and Novgorod have gathered around the nation of Nizhny Novgorod, which is now the strongest native Russian nation that, of course, wishes to drive the Norse invaders out and also wishes to drive the Golden Horde or to stop the Golden Horde's expansion to the south here. All right, moving further south. We can see that the Crusades have been very successful in this scenario. So we have three Christian kingdoms here, the old Christian kingdoms of Jerusalem and Antiochia that have recently finished a crusade against the Mamluks, won that crusade and established the Knights of Alexandria, another holy order here in northern Egypt. The Mamluks are of course not the biggest fans of this expansion and wish to reclaim all their lost lands. But also the Christians here want to drive the Mamluks back even further. Then in the Anatolian area, we have one strong Muslim country, which is Eretna. South of it also we have Assyria and we have Mesopotamia. Again, two Muslim states, one Shia, one Sunni, that also wish, of course, to expand in this area. And then to the east of them, we have the Seljuks, final country in this mod, which is just a really strong, powerful, united Muslim country. Just because I thought, with so many areas where the Christians have pushed the Muslims back, there needs to be at least one very strong Muslim state still, so it's not too easy if you play as any of these Christians. Anyways, that is the basic scenario of this mod. I hope I went over all the interesting countries. The mod currently only reworks Europe, so yeah, Asia and America look all the same. Also Africa south of the Sahara. Also scope of this mod, really quickly, just so no one goes in with any wrong expectations. This mod only changes the map, the religion, the dynasties, like everything I've shown you so far. This mod does not add any new missions or any new events or anything of that sort. Just so you know, it's not a super in-depth mod. Yeah, but I hope it's an interesting, fun little scenario for you to play through, and definitely hope you enjoy. And if you want to keep and stay updated to developments around this mod, or if you're interested in grand strategy games in general, I would obviously very much appreciate if you left a like or if you also subscribed to the channel. All right, with that said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.